Mark and Sarah's story started like a fairy tale. They met in college, two souls who just seemed to click. Mark was studying architecture, always sketching buildings that reached for the sky, and Sarah was a literature major, her head always in a book, dreaming of far-off lands. Their friends called them the perfect couple. After graduation, they got married in a small, beautiful ceremony under a giant oak tree, the same one where Mark had proposed. They bought a little house with a big garden, and for a while, everything was perfect. Mark's career took off, and Sarah started a popular book blog. Life was good, filled with laughter, shared dreams, and the comfortable silence that only comes with true companionship. They built a life together, brick by brick, word by word. It was a love story everyone envied, a fortress of trust and affection that seemed unbreakable. But even the strongest fortresses can have hidden cracks, and sometimes the silence isn't comfortable at all. It's just empty. The changes were small at first, almost unnoticeable. Sarah started working late more often, her phone glued to her hand, a constant stream of texts making her smile in a way Mark hadn't seen in a long time. When he asked who she was texting, she'd just wave a hand dismissively. "Oh, just some of my blog readers," or "It's for a new book club." The excuses were always plausible, always just reasonable enough to push his doubts away. But the doubts were like weeds in their perfect garden, small at first, but persistent. He noticed she'd started dressing up more for her late nights at the library, wearing perfumes he'd never smelled before. The shared jokes between them faded, replaced by an awkward silence over the dinner table. One evening, Mark cooked her favorite pasta, waiting for her to come home. Hours passed. He called, but her phone went straight to voicemail. She finally walked in just before midnight, her hair slightly messy, her cheeks flushed. "Sorry, got caught up in a really intense book discussion," she said, avoiding his eyes. The smell of a man's cologne, faint but distinct, clung to her coat. Mark's heart sank. He didn't say anything. He just watched her, the woman he loved, become a stranger in their own home. Mark's suspicion turned into a cold, hard certainty one rainy Tuesday. Sarah had said she was going to a writer's workshop in the city. Mark had an early day and decided to surprise her by picking her up. As he pulled up to the venue, he saw her. She wasn't in a workshop. She was standing under an awning across the street, laughing with another man. It wasn't just any laugh. It was the deep, uninhibited laugh he used to be the sole recipient of. The man tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear, a gesture so intimate it felt like a punch to Mark's gut. Then he leaned in and kissed her. It wasn't a quick peck. It was a long, passionate kiss that told a story of its own. Mark just sat there, frozen in his car, the rain drumming on the roof like a funeral march for his marriage. He felt a wave of nausea. He wanted to scream, to get out of the car and confront them, to demand answers, but he didn't. He just put the car in reverse and drove away, his world shattered into a million tiny, sharp pieces. The image of that kiss was burned into his mind, a permanent scar on his memory. In the days that followed, Mark became a ghost in his own life. He went to work, he came home, he ate, but he wasn't really there. He decided to stay silent. What was the point of confronting her? The trust was already broken. The love he thought they had, a lie. He watched her continue her charade, her phone buzzing with secret messages, her evenings filled with flimsy excuses. It was a bizarre, painful play, and he was the unwilling audience. He watched her lie to his face, a sweet smile on her lips, and he felt nothing but a hollow ache. He started quietly making plans. He contacted a lawyer. He found a new apartment. He began to separate their lives, not with arguments or accusations, but with quiet, methodical precision. Each document signed, each box packed, was a silent goodbye. He was detaching himself, piece by piece, from the life they had built. Sarah, wrapped up in her new romance, didn't notice a thing. She mistook his silence for acceptance, his calm for ignorance. She had no idea that while she was whispering sweet nothings to another man, Mark was planning his final, silent departure. The day finally came. Mark had packed his last box, filled with his architectural models and his favorite books. The house felt strangely empty, already echoing with the ghosts of their past happiness. He left his wedding ring on the bedside table, right next to the book Sarah was pretending to read. He didn't leave a long, angry letter. There was no need for more words. The lies had filled their house for months, and he was done with them. Instead, he left a single, pristine white envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside was not a letter, but two documents. The first was the divorce papers, already signed by him. The second was a printout of a plane ticket. It was a one-way ticket to Italy, a place they had always dreamed of visiting together to see the architecture and immerse themselves in the culture. It was a trip they had planned for their 10th anniversary. Underneath the ticket details, he had written just 7 words. "I hope he takes you to see them." Then he picked up his bag, walked out the door, and didn't look back. He was leaving behind the ruins of his marriage to go build something new, just for himself. Sarah came home that evening humming a cheerful tune. The house was quiet, but that wasn't unusual. She called out Mark's name. Silence. She walked into the kitchen and saw the white envelope. Her heart skipped a beat. She opened it, and her world crumbled. The divorce papers were a shock, but it was the plane ticket that broke her. Italy. Their dream. The 7 words he wrote were like daggers, each one a testament to everything she had thrown away. "I hope he takes you to see them." He knew. He had known all along. The realization hit her like a physical blow. His silence hadn't been ignorance. It had been a judgment. He hadn't fought. He hadn't yelled. He had simply watched her lie, and then he had left, taking their shared future with him. She ran to their bedroom and saw his empty closet. The drawers cleared out. On the nightstand, his wedding ring glinted under the lamp, a cold, metallic reminder of the vows she had broken. She sank to the floor, the papers clutched in her hand. And finally, she wept. She wept for the man she had lost, for the love she had destroyed, and for the deafening silence that was now her only companion. Mark, meanwhile, was on a plane, watching the clouds drift by below. He felt a strange mix of sadness and liberation. The pain was still there, a dull throb in his chest, but for the first time in months he could breathe. He wasn't running away. He was running toward something new. He landed in Rome, the city alive with history and passion. He spent his days sketching ancient columns and magnificent basilicas, losing himself in the beauty of human creation. He wasn't just observing buildings, he was rebuilding himself. He learned to enjoy his own company again, to find joy in a perfect cup of coffee, in a conversation with a stranger, in the golden light of an Italian sunset. He realized that his identity was not tied to being Sarah's husband. He was Mark, the architect, the dreamer, the man who had the strength to walk away from a broken promise. His final goodbye wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming his own story. His silence had been his power, and his departure was his masterpiece. A life redesigned, built on a new, stronger foundation of self-respect. This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the loudest statement you can make is to say nothing at all. Mark's silence wasn't weakness. It was his strength. It allowed him to see the truth clearly and to act with dignity and purpose. While confrontation can sometimes bring closure, there are situations where walking away is the most profound act of self-love. It's about choosing your own peace over the chaos of another's deceit. If you've ever felt betrayed or taken for granted, remember the power of your own choices. You have the strength to redesign your life, to walk away from what's broken, and to build something beautiful and new for yourself. Your happiness is your own project, and you are the master architect. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, take care.